Hello, I'm Paul Pluter, the method actor who plays Archibald Chesterfield III, and I'm the method actor genius, the genius who plays Paul Pluter. And today I want to talk about papers, the importance of papers. Remember, like, subscribe, and tell your fuckhead friends about my channel. And please look in the description for 10 ways you can help me stay full-time on YouTube. Quick wristwatch check. Patek Philippe World Time, fuckers. Patek Philippe World Time. And today, fuckers, I'm doing paid reviews because I don't do shit for free. $20 for a paid review. Here we go. Hi, Arch. Been a big fan and supporter via Patreon. I have a question for you. How important are papers on a pre-owned watch? Is there a way to put a dollar value on it? What prompts my question is, there's a watch, there's a Langmatic Big Date on Jewelers on Time. It's a lovely piece, but a significant amount of money. How bad is it that it doesn't come with papers? Thanks, and keep up the great work, George. Well, George, that is a very good question. Papers. And I've heard all sorts of fucking things. I've heard all sorts of cunts out there. They tell me, I won't buy a watch without box and papers. I won't do this, I won't do that. And I gotta fucking tell you, fuckers, I gotta fucking tell you my side of the story. Would I buy a watch without papers? Of course. Papers doesn't really prove anything. I've had watches that have had the wrong fucking papers. I've had watches that have had, papers, fake papers, it just goes on and on. At the end of the day, are papers great or what? What's the go with papers? Well, it's nice to have them. Would it stop me? No. Okay. If you're buying a piece at, I always say the most important thing is the condition of the watch. That is far more important than a piece of paper certificate. Now, I've owned a couple of really fuck-off Pateks in recent time. And my white gold 5107, it didn't have papers. Does that mean it could be fake? Does it mean it could be this? Does it mean, well, my Rolex gold Submariner, it doesn't have papers. Is it the end of the world? No. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay? It's not the end of the world. If you look at the piece of paper as to verify whether it's right or wrong, you're fucking out of your depth. You're out of your depth and you shouldn't be pretending to be an expert. The answer is papers is cool to have, but it's not the end of the world if it doesn't have it. Many of my watches don't have papers. My Explorer 2 doesn't have papers. Gold Sub doesn't have papers. My Reverso has papers. My Omega, nice, it has papers too. My World Time, which is on land, it has papers as well. So papers are cool, but they're not essential. Okay? They are not essential. Papers are not. So, okay, so let's get to the point. I personally always buy a watch on its condition. You want to make sure the watch you buy has got the original dial. It's got the original. It's nice to have the buckle. This here is a deployant buckle. Original strap. Then I like to have a box. Then I like to have papers. If it doesn't have it, how much does it hurt it? Well, different watches are different things. Obviously, an Omega Speedmaster, man on the fucking moon, is going to have a lesser effect than, say, a World Time. Generally speaking, if it doesn't have papers on something like the World Time, I'd say you'd be looking at a discount of about $500 to $1,000. When you look at something like a vintage Daytona, the papers can be worth a couple of $1,000s. We're talking plastic Daytona, 6263, that sort of reference, plastic Daytona. It has a big difference because often they don't have papers. If you had papers, they're worth brings it up. So it depends on the watch. On the Omega Speedmaster, man on the fucking moon, how much is it with papers or no papers? I'd probably put it at $100 to $200 difference. Not a huge deal. The watch is real. You can look at the watch, you can open the back, have a look at the movement. That's more important than a fucking little plastic card. So papers themselves are really good to have, but it's not the be-all and end-all. If you're buying from a reputable dealer, that's much more important than some fucking certificate. I've had watches. I bought a no-date Submariner a while ago, and it had the wrong papers. They were both a serial number, so it must have been a fuck-up from the dealer, and it didn't correspond. Well, is that the end of the world? Well, not really. The other thing is, certain makers give you a chance to get papers again. Now let me explain. Let me back the truck up. Okay, you cannot get the original certificate, but Paddock allows you, for a very reasonable price, get an extract from the archive, which is like papers. It's $115 US. That's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal at all. The other thing is you can often, if you send the watch to the manufacturer, like Patek or JEWELLERY, Rolex, and they service it, well, it's going to come back with the serial number. They're going to do all their little checks at their end to make sure it's correct. And it comes back with service papers, which is like papers. You understand? All these little things can help. So at the end of the day, I do like papers. Yes, it's great. How much will it affect the watch? Well, it depends on the watch in question. Papers can have a huge effect on something like a sports steel Rolex, okay, from vintage times, 60s, 70s, plastic type pieces. But modern stuff, papers, a lot of the modern stuff, there's so much of it out there, papers aren't really going to make a huge difference. My Patek 5107 didn't have papers, but I had an extract from the archive. It proved it was right, proved it was correct, and I think, you'd probably look at a discount, probably a couple $100, $500 on the most savage case. So papers really don't do a lot. I certainly would buy a watch if it didn't have papers. I think, in my opinion, condition is far more important than papers. I'd rather buy, when I bought my gold Submariner, it didn't have papers. Well, it's all correct. The movement's correct. The dial's correct. I had a watchmaker check it out. I got it serviced. I got it lightly polished. It came back schmicko. It passed all the tests that I needed for it to do. Papers would probably be a couple $100 more to the value. It's not the end of the world if you don't fucking have papers. In many cases, I'd prefer to have the correct box than papers, because I like to display these films, photograph them, and stuff like that. So papers itself, it really, where you get a really big premium on papers is for vintage pieces. Okay? Anything modern, well, there's so much of it made now, it's never really going to be that super important. I like papers, yes I do. But is it the end of the world if a piece doesn't have papers? No, of course not. Of course not. And I can tell you honestly, my own opinion is that papers themselves there, on a Patek, I think you're probably looking at $500 maximum. That's modern Pateks. On Rolex and things like that there, you're probably looking at $100 to $200 difference. JEWELLERY and brands like that, $200 or $300 difference. Something like an Omega Speedmaster, man on the fucking moon, well, there's a lot of them out there. Probably $100, $200 difference. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't have fucking papers. It would not stop me. I always buy a watch on condition. What's the condition like? Is it correct? Is it, you get a watchmaker to check it out? Are you buying it from a reputable source? Papers really doesn't prove that much. So, to answer your question there, I wouldn't feel bad about buying a watch without papers. Definitely, I am a condition buyer. I want the piece to be in nice condition. That's far more important than papers. So I hope that helps as a guide and gives you a bit of an idea of what my own opinion is on it. I'm never scared to buy anything. I never will rule out anything. If it's priced right, I'll buy it. So there you go, fuckers. That's my opinion. Is papers essential? No. Are they? It's nice to have them. I can't lie to you and say they mean nothing. They're always nice to have. I do enjoy having papers with a piece. So there you go. The Pontiff has spoken. That's my decision on it. Tell me what you fuckers think of that. Nice one, Archie. Great vid.